So I started my health and fitness journey in order to be better at track when I was in high school, but I got so far into it that I eventually became afraid of food and almost didn't even want to eat anything because I was afraid of gaining weight. I was afraid of failure. I was afraid of what people thought of me. And if that's you, then stick around because we're going to work through that fear of food and eating bad food or just eating food in general and how we're going to address that. Because if you watched my last video, we talked about why you have cravings and what cravings mean for your body. And I know those fear foods are your body trying to tell you that it needs something. And you're afraid to do that. You're afraid to give in, to fail, to not be strong enough and eat those foods and be out of control with it. But really, your body is starving. It is craving something. It is fearful and it needs support and it needs love and it needs to trust you. So in order to get past that, we actually need to eat those fear foods, understand why it is that your body is craving them, why you can't stop thinking about it, why you'll stay awake until 2 a.m. and wonder if you should just go to the gas station and pick something up just to silence those voices in your head and finally be done with it. We're going to address that here. Okay, so like I said in my last video, cravings come from lack, whether that is lack of nutrition, support, accountability, lack of sleep, or too much stress. Your body is trying to tell you something that it needs, that it is craving. And by craving certain foods, it's hoping to get those nutrients or those things that it feels it is going to get from that food. So in order to address exactly how we're going to do that, we need to actually eat those foods. So if you download that Cut Cravings in 3 Days workbook that I have down below, we are diving into the fun day or the stressful day or the fearful day of actually eating the food that you are craving. Now, this can go one of two ways, where you overeat everything that you are possibly wanting and need to come to terms with it and go through a whole emotional experience, or you eat the food, are aware of how you're eating and don't overeat and are still able to enjoy the things that you have. So I want to address this because there is that fear that you are losing control, that you don't have a say, and that you're just going to keep eating and eating and eating. And if you have been starving yourself, if you have been depriving yourself of certain things for a long period of time, your body is going to try and take that in because it is in that fight or flight mode. It is in that constant state of stress. And in order to survive, it wants to add weight to you and it wants to intake as much food as possible, because especially if you are on a super strict diet for a long period of time with no end in sight, as in you are on a bodybuilder prep diet with no bodybuilder show in sight, your body is going to start craving certain things. And if you have a lot of stress going on in your life, it's just going to make it that much worse. So how I want you to approach today, where you are eating the foods that are on your mind, that you think of all the time, and actually get something from it, is taking a very simple approach. And it is just being aware. So this isn't like a lose your mind, eat everything in sight, and cry about it later kind of thing. This is going to be a very specific, very structured, very focused way of doing it. Because by approaching this in a certain way, by approaching it in a very conscious and aware way, you are actually going to get a lot of information from it and can actually fix a lot of your cravings right away, and understanding how you approach food a certain way. Okay, so I'm going to give you 2 examples because I have been able to get to a point where I can eat the foods that I really love and I really want to, and I can stop, or I can say no more, or I can just eat a little bit and call it good. And this is coming from somebody who I would finish my plate and then I would finish everybody else's plate and then I would have dessert later on and then a snack. So it's going to take a little bit of work, but the more conscious you are with it, the better it's going to be. So let me get one of those foods quick. All right, so for your food craving day, it is most likely that you are going to be ordering something very fun and very exciting. For instance, my boyfriend and I ordered deep dish pizza for Friday date night. Now, this is a thick boy. This is thick, this is a lot of cheese, this is a lot of food. Now, what we did is, the first time we ordered a very large pizza, and we ate a lot of it. And then we didn't feel good. We felt sick. So what did we do next? Instead of feeling bad and guilty about it, we addressed it and we're like, we should probably just order a smaller pizza because we don't need all of this. And knowing ourselves, we will keep eating, but we have gotten to a point where we are more aware and will stop. But by having a smaller pizza, it is going to be smaller slices, it's going to be smaller portions, and we'll be able to be more conscious and aware. Now, we went from overstuffing ourselves and feeling so uncomfortable the rest of the night to ordering a smaller pizza, having 2 slices, and calling it good. And then we felt fine. So what you're going to do is you might overeat today. You might overeat when you are going through this and having the foods that you are craving and trying to understand. But by being aware, being like, okay, this was too big of a portion. Next time, I'm going to order smaller. Or next time, I'm going to stop after 2 slices rather than eating the third. Even though the third would put me over the edge, but it's like 2.5 would do it. So I'm going to stop at 2. So it's being aware and understanding like what is or isn't good for you and starting to listen to your body and understanding when it's full and when it's hungry. And that's going to be the biggest part of this. So I want you to be aware even as you were eating everything. And another example is I have the same breakfast every day. And if you want, I'll show that video. I'll link that as well. But it's eggs in a high fiber wrap, low carb wrap with cheese. And I have that every single morning. It's perfect. But sometimes I am busy or I woke up late or I need to get going. And I tried the other day to have one of our protein bars. Now, normally we have protein bars as like an afternoon snack, or we want a sweet treat, but don't have anything in the house, but we do have protein bars. So we'll do that instead. But I had one for breakfast and I felt awful afterwards. Not because these are bad, not because I shouldn't be eating them, but because they're more sugar than I'm used to in the morning. And again, that's not a bad thing. We still have these for like afternoon or a sweet treat. But I realized that I can't have these in the morning if I want to feel good. So it's not a bad thing, but it's how do I want to feel? And that's what it comes down to. It comes down to how do I want to feel? What are my goals? What's the plan moving forward, and how do I want to feel? And from doing this, now again, this is just a 1-day thing, but by doing this and being more aware and understanding how this works, you're going to be able to pinpoint more foods moving forward. How am I responding during the week? How am I responding on the weekend? What is working for me? What isn't working for me? And then you're going to start building a solid baseline of healthy foods that work for you, or fun foods that work for you, or where you need to stop and where you can keep going when it comes to eating the certain foods that you are craving or that your body wants and needs. So I want you to go through today enjoying the foods that you are having, but being aware of how it's responding. Don't feel like you are punishing yourself. Don't feel like you need to go and work out and move as well. I would rather you have this be a nice lazy day working through it, because this is going to be as much of a challenge for you mentally as it is going to be for you physically. So after you are done enjoying the day and trying your best to not be in your head, I want you to click on this next video where I'm going to break down exactly how to understand and decompress and move forward after a full day of eating and understanding what those cravings mean and next steps. So grab the workbook down below and I will see you in the next video.